And as always, I would say today's thought of the day is also powerful and actually it's more about happiness, right? And how to lead our life. And I'm sure you'll agree with it as in we'll progress through the session today. And that's why let me ask you, apart from those who are not Mumbaikars, how many of you have seen Marine Drive? Because of course मुंबई वालों ने तो देखा ही है ठीक है ना but apart from that yes and isn't it a great feeling standing next to the sea right waves so that's I would say a different experience altogether so let's imagine once again that you're standing at Marine Drive in Mumbai at sunset. The waves crash against the rocks with perfect rhythm. No one taught them when to rise or fall. They simply flow. Or picture a bird soaring above the Lodhi Gardens in Delhi. So I'm sure the Delhi NCR people must have been to Lodhi Gardens and especially in their, youth, the love life begins there. In fact, it doesn't have a GPS, yet it never loses its way home. Now think about your own life. How often do you feel like you are rowing against the current, exhausted from following everyone else's map? So, today we are going to talk about something that might sound mystical, but is actually the most practical thing you will hear this week living a spirited life. So, let me be clear I'm not asking you to quit your job, move to an ashram, or stop using your brain. A spirit led life simply means this choosing inner guidance over external noise. Think about it. Every day we are bombarded. Your parents say, Beta, take engineering. Instagram say, look like this, live like that. Your friends say, everyone's doing it. And your boss, work harder, longer, faster. And somewhere in all that chaos, there's a small, quiet voice inside you. Your higher self, your intuition, your spirit, trying to tell you something, but you can't hear it because the world is so loud. So, living spirit led means turning down the volume on everything else and finally listening to that inner voice. So, let me share the two big signs that you are spirit led. Sign one, peace over pressure. Yes. So let me tell you about Ria. She's a 17-year-old girl from Bengaluru. Everyone expected her to pursue medicine, family, legacy, societal respect, the whole package. You know, when parents try to motivate their child, they have these reasons. But every time she thought about it, her chest felt tight. And then one day in chemistry class, when her friends were excited about practicals, she found herself sketching fashion designs on the margins of a notebook. And that's when she felt it a lightness, a quiet yes from within. And now she didn't immediately drop science, but she started honoring that inner nudge. She researched design courses, talked to professionals, and eventually made a choice that felt aligned, not forced. Today, she's studying fashion communication and actually wakes up excited, not anxious. So, when you are spirit led, you feel peace in your decisions, even if others don't understand them. When you're not, you feel chronic pressure, like you're wearing clothes two sizes too small. Sign number two, purpose over performance. Yes. Now let's talk about Arjun. He's a 32-year-old software engineer from Pune. He was crushing it at work. Promotions, bonuses, the corner office. but he felt empty. Every Sunday evening, he would get what he called the dread, that heavy feeling knowing another week was starting. And one day, his nephew asked him to help with a school coding project. For the first time in months, he felt alive, and he realized his spirit wasn't called to climb corporate ladders. It was called to teach, to mentor, to light up young minds. He didn't quit immediately, but he started volunteering at a coding boot camp on weekends. And 6 months later, he transitioned to an education startup at half his salary, but double his joy. Spirit led living isn't about performing for applause, it's about fulfilling your purpose, even if it's quieter, smaller, or less impressive to the outside world. But here's where people get confused. They think, oh, spirit led means I just sit and wait for signs, right? Like the universe will send me a letter. Of course not. Spirit led living is 50% inspired action and 50% surrendered trust. Let me give you a relatable example. You're preparing for your board exams or a big presentation at work. A spirit led approach means you study hard, prepare thoroughly. That's the action part. But you don't obsess until 3 a.m. You don't make yourself sick with worry, and you don't tie your entire self worth to the outcome. You do your best, then release it. You trust that divine timing is not delay, it's direction. So maybe you don't get the college you wanted, but that rejection leads you to a different city where you meet your best friend or discover your true passion. Maybe the client says no, but that freed up time allows you to work on a project that becomes your breakthrough. So when you are spirit led, you stop fighting the current and start flowing with life. Like that metaphor I love. When you let the wind of spirit steer your sail, you stop fighting the current and start flowing with life. So let me repeat, it's a lovely metaphor that when you let the wind of spirit steer your sail, you stop fighting the current and start flowing with life. You're not passive, you're just not in control of everything. And honestly, what a relief. Why do we need to control everything? And here's the thing about intuition, it doesn't scream, it whispers. And we've been taught to ignore it. That's the dilemma. You know, your body tells you, I'm exhausted, but you scroll for another hour. Your gut says, this friendship doesn't feel right, but you keep forcing it because you've been friends since class 5. Your heart says, say no to this commitment, but you say yes because you don't want to disappoint people. So, living spirit led means honoring those whispers. And when you do, life gets easier. Not perfect, but easier. You stop attracting drama. You stop overthinking every decision. And you start experiencing what I called aligned coincidences. The right book appears, the right conversation happens, doors open that you don't even know existed. And you move from struggle to ease, from forcing to flowing. So here's my invitation to you. What if you stopped asking, what should I do? And started asking, what is my spirit calling me towards? And before you leave today, I want you to try something simple but powerful. Sit quiet, put your phone away, close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, and ask, What is one small step my higher self wants me to take today? I repeat, place your hand on your heart and ask, what is one small step my higher self wants me to take today? Don't overthink it. Don't judge it. Just feel the first thought, the feeling that comes. Maybe call that friend, or start that hobby, or rest without guilt. That means don't go to sleep after the session. And then, and this is the most important part, follow it without overthinking. Because a spirit led life isn't built in grand gestures, it's built in small, brave acts of listening and trusting that quiet voice within. So when you let spirit lead, you don't lose yourself. You actually find yourself. So, with that thought, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you.